So, servus. So, this is the second weekly recap video. I will just go through everything we did in the last 2 weeks, or last week. It will be maybe a little bit longer. Let's see. So, just for the recap, I'm using this method here for everything, for all stocks. Doesn't matter what news, dilution, short seller liquidated. It absolutely doesn't matter. So we start with a V&A. After that comes always a higher low. Then A peak, pullback, B peak, pullback. Most of the time you can pull from the A low to the B peak a 0.5 fib retracement to get your B bottom. Then you go to your C peak. Then you go to your low high. Then you go to your midpoint, to your endpoint. You can draw a trend line from your B bottom to your M midpoint. Most of the time you get a bounce, fall under it, reject, last time reject, then you fall. Then you go to your T point, your last point to sell. Fall under it, V under previous A, and then the same thing just repeats. With only one difference, the B fractal doesn't have to do a V and A because you have the small, mid, and big tracking. So let's say this is the absolute big tracking. You still have in here middle B, little bit middle B, little middle A, middle B, and middle C. And in every form, in A, you have the tiny A, the tiny B, and so on. So for the big B, you don't have to do V and A. The thing is also, the biggest one, the biggest tracking is standing over the middle one. The middle one is standing over the tiny one, and so on. Okay. Let's go into SPY. Was perfect tracking this week. I will always present, or I try always to present, the bullish case and the bearish case. So, just we start with the little tracking. On Friday, last week, we fall under the V&A. Perfect. Then we made our higher low, would be this here. A peak is some in this gap up. B pullback, C. Midpoint, here's a trend line from the bottom. You could even say it's this, something like that, yeah. It's just so tiny. Where you bounce, fall under it. Perfect. Here's your T, and then you fall to your next little V under A. Then you go up, the same thing again. A, B, C, fall down again, V and A, same again, A, B, C, fall under it again, V and A. Even a V and A under the two previous V and A's. So, for the bullish tracking, because we said on Friday, we were, I think it was here, yeah, or here. This was the perfect T in pre-market. And our target for A was here. Perfect. And our target for B was here, I think it was. Also perfect. So, what for the bullish part? For the bullish part, this would mean we are getting in dangerous territory right now. Problem is, we had here our peak, lower peak, lower peak. So there's only one way we can play this now. I mean, two ways for the bullish part. Two ways we play this now. this was B. You might see a pullback here, maybe already in pre-market, or you just already did it, and you break this trend line. Most likely you get a retest, and then you go to your C. And that would mean all-time highs, bull run, absolutely perfect. The second bullish version, which also is the bearish version, would be you're not breaking this trend line. Here would be your C. You would fall under again. Your V under A and the little tracking would be something under here. So here would be a V under A again. So we'll do the same. Come up, lower high, midpoint, T, V under A, higher low, and then you try it again. That would still be the two possibilities for bullish tracking. And at the same time, if we're doing this whole thing for the bigger tracking, this whole thing would be just higher low. This whole thing would be just higher low. You would be on the way to your A, B, middle A, middle B, middle C. Now for the bearish tracking, why I said you have the second possibility is also bearish and bullish. Because for the bearish tracking, this is your C. It's the third lower peak. You would come up, reject here, and really would start falling. If you're not getting a V and A, or at least bounce on this trend line here, and you fall under it, your next target would be 635. And if this is not holding, your absolute target would be 590, most likely something between 590 and 580 in this range. But then again, V and A, high, low, and go. And this would be just what SPY is always doing. It's broadening wedge. This would be just this here again. The only thing is the second drop is always the most brutal and most quick one. For examples, we just have to look at what? Give me my chart. We just have to look. We would be most likely here, biggest drop, or here, brutal drop, or here, brutal drop. It's always the same. If this is happening, then this drop here was nothing. Was nothing for what would come in the next 2 weeks. So let's see. Okay. So let's look at our stocks. We start with NIO. So for NIO, we start with the big tracking. For NIO, here would be, I will just make it completely new, just for explanation. So normally you start tracking with your C, of course, but this isn't working for your C really. The thing is, it's perfect for this would be your M, because the next B peak is normally a little lower on the point or a little bit higher than your M point. Same for your T. Your next A point is normally a little bit lower on the point or a little bit higher than your T point. So it makes very more sense that this is your M, which would mean the invisible lower high is somewhere here, and your invisible C is here, and whatever is before that. So this fractal is always finished with the V. So this would be your A, your big A. And what we finished in April would be your big B. And I will show why that is important. But what is that? See, lower high, midpoint, T, V under invisible A, finished. Then high, low, finished. You come to your A, pull back, B, pull back, C. And then again, fall down. But this time, we are not V on A because this is big B. And big B doesn't have to fall to a V on A. Or even better, it normally isn't falling V on A. So this is working still. So you have your V, higher, low, B. Your higher low is finished. And your A peak is also finished. The only question is your A pullback already finished? If your A pullback is finished, you go to your B peak, little pullback, and then the only question is C breaking all-time highs, which it should, because this is big A, big B, and big and C is normally over the last all-time high. Yeah, the last peak. We don't have to go over the whatever the invisible all-time high would be. So now we look closer on the daily, because this is our A peak. So closer we have the same V, we have the same high low. This is our breakout and little A peak. We pull back, go up. This would be our little B peak. We make the B pullback, and this would be our little C peak. So what are we doing now for the bullish version? This is done. I don't think so. I will show that. But okay. And you would go to your B peak, which would be $16. If this is not done, this would be a small lower high. This would be a small lower high. Your midpoint would be already in, or most likely come in the next days. You would reject it to come down again, do your T, and then you do your V and A, high, low, and then you go. How this would look like. I took this here. This is coming from our last A peak, big A peak at January 2020. Where you see you have your V, high, low, triple top or head and shoulders, and you fall under your V and A here perfectly, because your little this would be higher low, and this here would be your little A, and you did the perfect V and A. You fall under it. So if you look at this, I think it's very possible, because you already did it. You have here your left shoulder, or here your left shoulder. This is your head. And I could still see we come up here. Don't break the high. This would be a right shoulder and you go down. Or this is already your right shoulder. Isn't really looking like, but maybe. And then you just do your V&A like this. So upside, breaking this level, a 7.98, or you will do your V&A. Okay, plug. We look at the weekly again. So for plug, we start with the big tracking again, which would mean this is your big C. You fall down, do your V. This whole thing here is your higher low, and the next would be your big A. Why is this your higher low and not big A, big B? Just because this is lower than this. And B bottom is never lower than A bottom. Why is that not higher low and A? Same thing, because we are lower here. So for the smaller tracking, see, you come down, do your V, perfect. First fractal finished, higher low. Then you do the small tracking with A, B, C, lower high, midpoint T, perfect V&A. We start the next one, V&A, high low, A, B, C. Do it a lower high, a midpoint T, and fall again to your V&A. So for our next target, in my opinion, we still not finished with our A peak. I know we are close, but I would still imagine that our A peak is a little bit higher. This would be the breakout of this multi-year since 2021 trend line. We would break out, that would be our A peak. We do a pullback, that would be also the retest. And then we go, our B peak target would be at $31. So then we go on the little tracking. So for the little tracking, we have two things. First, we have our V&A, perfect, finished. High, low, finished. We did already our little A peak pullback, finished. And we are now in our little B peak and already now in the pullback. So now is the important question. Is it finished or not? We already touched the 0.5 fib line. So it could be already finished. I would imagine for the bullish tracking, you won't see lower than $3. And you will just, for the first one, climbing up this trend line. If you break the bull line at 471, perfect, we go to A. Or you just see the big move and you go to the A peak. The important thing is break over 471, absolute bullish. For breaking $3, the B line, wouldn't be nice. What I absolutely don't want to see is if we break the no-no line. I have to look for a really bearish alternative. I'm not really having one right now, but if you do that, I will find one. Okay. Next is view result. We start on the weekly again. So this is interesting because I think there are two ways. One bullish one, one bearish one. You come from your automatic. You're tracking this with your CLM coming down. So we did already RV, so the first one is finished. And now we go on the daily. So your high low is finished, your A is finished, B is finished, your lower peak is finished, and then you come down again. Lower high, midpoint. Here you see it perfectly with the bounce and rejection, with the B line. Bounce, 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 fall under it, reject, reject, one last reject, fall down to your T. Last time to sell before your B. Here you have again your V and A. Perfect. Higher low also finished. And here also, I think we still need our A peak. For this A peak, we go into smaller tracking. We have the same V. High low, little a, little b, little c. Come down again. Do again V and A. Perfect. High low. Perfect. You already did your A peak. The little A peak. Pullback. Finished. B. And in my opinion, the same like plug, you already finished your B pullback. So for the bullish version, two ways again, you're slowly grinding up here. Get your A peak, little pullback, and go. Your B target would be at $131. If not, I mean, you also can, again, do the strong moves to your A peak. Confirmation for that would be 1242. Perfect bullish. Again, what I don't want to see is breaking under the B line, which it's not yet the no-no line. Then yeah, we let this B line right now. Just breaking 737 to the downside wouldn't be that great right now. And for this, I don't have an alternative yet. Let's see what happens. But right now, I would be bullish. Bad path and beyond. So, for bad path and beyond, first the bullish one. A bullish one would mean you have your B, high low. You did your A, you did your B, perfect C. Perfect lower high, perfect M. You fall to your T, last time to say, before you get your B. I would even say that for the bullish version, this would be a T. And for the bearish version. So, you did your VNA, perfect. You did your high low, perfect. For the bullish version, we already be done with our A peak, which would be this one. This one. And just to clarify that, for the bullish version, the A pullback has to be done now. Not later, not in a few cents, dollars under here. No, now. You have to bounce here. You have to break 12.64 and your next target would be B, around $36, where you get your pullback. And then we are looking for a break, all-time highs, whatever. My only problem with this just is, for my tracking, you can break uptrending trend lines. Okay, fine. There can also always be something, a little volatility to go under, or if the trend line is just not perfectly adjusted, whatever. But what I don't want to see is breaking these trend lines. It doesn't matter if it's only a few cents. It doesn't matter if it's only a wick. I don't like to see that. There is no, in my opinion, there is no volatility or stop loss hunt, or they did it because they try to push the price down so they don't have to cover, or some bullshit like that. No. My first line I hated to break was this one at 8.75, and the second one was my no-no line at 784, and we still broke it. So I always present two ways. For the bullish one, bounce here now, go over 1260, and yay, meme is squeezing, blah blah blah. For the bearish version, this was your T, and the next thing you're looking for is a new low down here. You will knife quick and strong and massive. The only question would be, do you do a higher low of this, or are you doing a new all-time low? How this would look like is, remember this here, come from your M to your V. No, you come to your M, you come from your M, you come up, do a M pattern or a W pattern, and then you knife. It's the same like 2020. You come from your M, you come up again, you do your M pattern or W pattern, and then you knife. And in my opinion, we are right here. I think we did this candle here this week, and this here is coming in the next weeks. Could be wrong, but yeah, I just present two ways. So for me, it's bearish. Breaking this line is bearish for me, and we already did it. Next one is Grab, Chinese company. Oh God, it will go to zero because of Trump. So you come from EC, perfect lower high, midpoint T, V, higher low, and for the case for Grab, we already did our A peak. If the pullback is finished, the next target would be between $9 and $11 for a B peak, and then whatever is C. Now we go in the little tracking. So for the big tracking, this is our big A. For the middle tracking, this is our middle B. And for the small tracking, this is our little c. So we have every capital in here. Just to clarify that. You have here your first one with your V, high, low, A, B, C. This would be a small a. Then you come down again, do your little V and A, perfect. High, low, perfect. And little a, little b, little c, and the middle b, because this is middle a. So right now, because normally, okay, this is your little c. Okay, so because this is c, this is lower high, here would be your M point, T point, you have to do your V and A. But because of this is middle B, it's very possible that we just come down to our 0.5 line, our fib retracement line, and then we just go to our B. So for confirmation, if we just bounce here and we break over 6.63, perfect, bullish, go. If you fall here, and you don't have to really on point bounce here, you can still go a little bit under and bounce here. In my opinion, if you bounce in that area, perfect buy-in point. If you fall under 4.73, I would be a little bit worried because, yeah, if you fall under the no-no line, I really have to look for an alternative. My only problem right now, don't have one. I am bullish on this. I just don't have an alternative for this right now, but let's see. So next one is Blink. With that we go on the weekly again. So same play again. Come from EC, lower high, midpoint, somewhere in here is T, V, first one is finished. Then you start your second one. You do your V, high, low, somewhere in here is your A, B, perfect, C, lower peak, and then lower high, midpoint, same again with the trend line. If you fall under it, you come at bounce, fall under it, reject last time, then you fall to a T. You did your perfect V and A. You already did your high low, and here again, I don't think we already got our A peak yet. So our A peak would be around 380, a little bit under it, a little bit over it. And your next target would be 26. So we look into the small tracking. Same V. This would be a little higher low. This would be already your A peak with pullback. And we already would have done our little B peak and would be in the A pullback right now. Here two things, because I'm looking at log. All my tracking is on log, because if you're not tracking it on log, you just can't see anything. Without log, you don't see anything. So I have it on log. But there is, for the fib retracements, you have the options to put the fib retracement on log or not on log. I'm testing this right now because I always track the things with the fib retracement without log, and this was working fine. And now I always look at it with log too. So the 0.5 fib retracement without log is exactly here, and we would already be done, in my opinion. This would already be a bounce. This here would already be a bounce, and you would just slowly climbing up the trend line or getting a big push, whatever. Everything over 285 is absolutely bullish. Or this line here is the 0.5 MIF log. So there would still be a possibility you come down here and bounce here. I don't want to see to break 1.48, and where the bullish tracking is some kind of wrong is $1. Just say. So next, our stupid gap squeeze play. So SAVA. Start with our V. Hello. A peak, A pullback, B peak, B pullback, C. Come to your low high midpoint T. Fall under your V and A. High low is finished. And now you want to see the gap fill. So our next target. There are one bullish version, one bearish version. The bullish version, gap fill, price target 25. Your A peak should be around 42. Your B peak 51, and whatever happens after that. So on Thursday, we nearly were in the gap fill area, but we still were lower it. So for the bullish tracking, because all these gap fills were Monday, Friday, all of them. I said on the last video on Friday, I don't want to see a strong Friday, because I want, normally you every time you're filling these gaps, you're doing it pre-market or after hours. Always Friday pre-market or Friday after hours or Monday pre-market. And that's why I didn't want to see a strong Friday, and we didn't solve Friday. So okay, for the bullish tracking, Monday gap fill, we're finished, perfect. Second, we're just doing the whole week bullshit. Really nothing every day. Just slowly grinding up this trend line. I mean, how much do we have? Gap fill was somewhere here, so 5.4, so this would be 17%. Yeah, okay. So if we are not gap filling on Monday, just do 1% every day or some bullshit like that. Perfect. For the alternative, you would see a run between $6 and $5. This would be a C. And then you go down, bounce at V&A, or you do a new low. How that would look like would be exactly this here. You fall from a T, here's your V. This price action here was the last 2 weeks, and we would be in this candle. And you see that here the gap fill starts, the gap starts after the downfall, and you went over it a little bit. And you reject here, do your new low, and the next 1 or 2 months will be a boring uptrend. But still, if we're doing this, which only happened once in this stock, but if we're doing this, I would still say there's a big possibility you see the gap fill. Let's say latest March. What I'm more tending to is this here. Come down, V, come up to your A, come up to your A, pull back, come up to your B, come up to your B, pull back, and we would be in this candle right now. So the only problem with this stock is it's a risk it and miss it. You won't get a warning. If you are in, you will see sometime you will see gap fill, perfect, out. I don't think we will see the run in normal market hours. Yeah. It's just a stupid risk play, 100%. So only, not financial advice, but only put money into it, which you really don't care about. If it plays out, it's a massive win. If not, yeah, it's a loss. So next one is C3.AI. Also bearish and bullish. You come from your C, perfect low high, midpoint T, V. First one is finished. Do your V, high low, A pullback, B pullback, C. I always say stupid C because it's only $1 higher than your B pick, and the B was just big. Then you come down, lower high, midpoint. And then for the bullish version. This was your T, V under A, perfect. And we would right now be in the higher low. Your next target would be $30 for A, little pullback. Second target would be 36, and then we will see if we break all-time highs again. For confirmation for this, we have to break over $20. For the bearish version, for the alternative, this was your T, and you would go down, and then it's this quite the same like Bad Bath and Beyond. You would do a higher low than your all-time low or a new low. For confirmation for this, would be if you break 1691, that would be already kind of a confirmation to the downside. If you break under 1519, that is for me, let's say 90% confirmation. And what this would look like right now is we would be in this version right now. You have your V here, you come up, make a little peak, you come up, make a little peak, you come down, higher low, come down, higher low, you come up, peak, you come down again, you come up, make a lower high, and then you fall. So for bearish, don't break 1691. For bullish, go over 20. But just to say, if you're going down, that isn't really changing much, because okay, of course it's a new low, but then you just start again. You come down, make your V under A, higher low, and go. The only thing which would change is time, of course. And your A wouldn't be at 30, your A would be at 20. But your B stays the same, and higher low would even be bullish. So yeah, just risk management. Next one is GNS. So you come from your C, perfect lower high, perfect midpoint, fall down to your T. V would be finished, higher low would be finished. GNS already did its A peak, and we would be in the A pullback right now. When the A pullback is finished, your B target would be 87. So now we go into the little tracking. And there it gets interesting. So, two versions. First version. Let's look at the... We see it on the 8-hour better. Yeah. So, for the first bullish version, you did your V, high low, come up. For the bullish version, this is your A. Then you do your B, C, M, T, V and A. This would be your V and A. This would be a high low. Finished. Your would already broke out. This is your next little A, and the little A pullback would be finished too. So we are waiting now. What was that? 2 weeks, I think. Since 2 weeks, we are range bound. So you could say something is building up. So for bullish confirmation, you have to break over 129. And then you go. For the second version, this is your little T then, which is still working because it's lower than your endpoint. This A would be wrong. This V under A and this higher low would be wrong. And this would be your A. And you would still have to come down to 60 cents. Get a V under A here, still perfect. Higher low, and then you go. For the absolute death alternative, you're not allowed to break under 34 cents. I think that then this company is over. I mean, yeah, they could do a split, but then it would just take longer, but then it's over. But normally, okay, then I wait for this A and pullback and ole. If you look at GNS, also here, you have your V, high, low, C. You most of the time don't see A, B. Same here. V, high, low, C. V, high, low, C. This stock is not a small mover when it starts running. The time, the falls in between are really, really slow. But when it's finished, it's quick. So yeah, will be interesting. Next one is OCGN. It's okay for the daily. So you're coming from your C, midpoint, T, V, first one finished, high, low, A, B, C, lower peak. You make your lower high, midpoint, last time to sell, V. This is already, no, this is V and A. Perfect to this A, wherever it is in this candle. Then you do your high, low. Yeah, then this whole thing would be a big high, low. And your next target for A would be 16, little pullback. And your next target would be B for 107.77, just because this is your M line. I already said in the last videos, I will be out completely at this point, just because this is your big A, but at the same time, this is also your little C, and you will get a pullback here. For the bullish version and the bearish version, you will get a pullback here. You will come up. We checked here. For the bullish version, you make a retest, and then you go. For the bearish version, you just do another lower peak, make a lower high, midpoint, T, and yeah. If I see somewhere in here a bounce, yeah, I can play for a new position, but yeah, I will be out here. For the little tracking. So this is one little tracking because this would be, where is this A coming from? Yeah, must be here. Because, oh, so. You come from VV, high, low. Here is your A with A pullback finished. And you would already done your B, little B peak, and would be in the B pullback right now. And when the B pullback is finished, you go to your mid B, and then you go. For confirmation for that is breaking over 190, perfect, bullish. And here again, for the fib line without log, we are finished with the B pullback. This would be already a bounce, because you bounce here, and you would go. If not, here is your trend line for the fib MIF log. So you would come here, bounce, and then you go. For the bear line, for the absolutely no line, I don't want to break this. 116, and I have to look for an alternative, and most likely we'll just do on a fresh chart everything new again. But right now, I'm still bullish. It's just, it's a slow mover. I mean, okay, these ones are quick, but it's, if you look at the whole thing, it's a really slow mover. But I mean, what was this last ABC? This took us 50 days. Yeah, for the big one, it's not that slow. Let's see. Let's see. Next one is FFAI. So we're coming from our C, lower high, midpoint, T to our V and A. So one last time, because normally if we're taking my rules, absolutely rule by rule, 1-to-1, this would be your A, this would be your B, and your C would be somewhere up there. For this won't happen. I in that case, I say 99.99999% this won't happen. It's just saying this won't happen. For realistic price targets, this company will die, delist, or will be bought by some other company. But the ticker FFAI will die, in my opinion, because you finished your first fractal here. At this point, you start the second one with your A, B, C, come down again to your V and A. And right now, our price targets. V right now would be in the higher low. And our next push would be A at $4 to $5, our B at $11, and in my opinion, our C would be somewhere in here between 35 and maximum 147. In my opinion, you will do a lower peak here again, reject and die. But I mean, who cares? If you're doing this one, who cares? So for the smaller tracking, for the bullish version, you did your V&A, the V&A of this here, high low finished, A peak finished, pullback finished, B pullback finished, C. Here's your lower high, here's your midpoint, and for the bullish tracking, this would be your T. You already would have done your V&A, and you are right now in your higher low. So for bullish confirmation, you have to break over 1.69. Next target would be A, little A pullback, B. But again here, just saying, I don't think we're doing this, because normally you're doing V, high, low, C. V, high, low, C. V, high, low, C. V, high, low, C. This stock is also a quick mover. There is no, normally you don't see this small uptrend. No. If it's finished, V and the high low is finished, you just go. Again, for confirmation, over 1.68. Perfect. If we break under 128, or if we are doing a double button at exactly 128, no, that isn't working. If we're doing that, this high low is wrong. This V and A is wrong. We would, doesn't matter if we bounce here, you would still need to do a new V and A, high low, and we start again. What I don't want to see is breaking under $1. Then I just have to track it again and look for a new version. But right now, it looks perfect. It looks perfect to be finished. So, last one is Bull, Bieber, which is quite in the same spot like FFAI. So, you come from your C, lower high, midpoint, come to your T, get your B and A, higher low is finished. And what we did in the last months were just a peak and a pullback. And if the bullish version is right, a pullback would be finished and your next target would be 33 for your B peak. So let's look at this. You already did your A, B, and C, the little ones, midpoint T. This would be a V and A, perfect. And the only thing we are looking at right now is we want to hold this higher low. And here the same. We can still go lower. Okay. We are not allowed to break under 1051. We are not allowed to make a double button, because then we still have to look for a new V&A. Here, but here it's the same. We're not allowed to, really not allowed to break 10.27, because then we get into trouble that this isn't A. So right now, our only thing we are looking at is we want that this is holding as a high low. From confirmation for the upside, going over 1284, and then you do your A, little pullback, B, 0.5 pullback, and then you go. And for how this would look like, we look at the 8 hour, yeah. So, because here you could easily even use symmetry, where you say you take this price action flip it on this side and track it from right to left, which would mean you come from your low, go to your A. Come from your low, go to your A. You pull back, you pull back. You come up, you come up. You pull back, and this whole thing would be this pullback. And we would be, if right, exactly here. And also, if you zoom in here, you have here a higher low, and after that a lower low. And the same thing we did here, higher low, lower low. So if right, we would expect, sorry, this price action for our next move. And that would be nothing else than cup, handle, and go. The cup and handle will take some time. I would think something mid or end of next year. So, but we are looking at the B right now. This could easily happen already this year. Yeah, and we are way slower than this, of course, and way bigger. But we are also expecting bigger moves because of that. So, yeah, I think I showed everything I had for the recap. It was just a pullback weekend, just a pullback week. No tracking was broken. It still look, everything's perfect. Could be a very interesting week, especially for SAVA. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have questions, write it into the comments. If you want to look at other stocks, also write it in the comments. If you liked it, leave a like, of course, because of YouTube. If you want to see more, subscribe. Right now I think I already have 22 videos. If you want, look them up. And again, thank you for watching, and let's see us next time.